Okay, this is Ringwalk Media in association with Bartley Cardo Racing and Redline Specialist Cars. Mr. Kevin Murray, we are here at the Co-op Arena live, which was supposed to be one of the best nights of Michael Gomes' career, and sadly he's been taken unwell. He very kindly decided to come on camera and just tell us exactly what happened.
Yeah, I think it's important people sort of know the facts when something like this happens.
Yeah.
Devastated. I can't actually believe I'm sat here and we're having this conversation. Everything's gone perfect. Mike's been in camp now for God knows how many weeks, and it couldn't have gone any better. Sparring's gone great. This was what he's dreamt about his whole life. It's all there for him tonight, and it's perfect. And the way it was done yesterday, absolutely perfect. Again, that was fantastic. I think everyone mentioned how good he looked on the scales, and couldn't have gone any better. Tonight now there's a few things we weren't particularly happy with. Myself and Mike Jennings, his trainer, are very experienced in this game, so we know what's right and what's wrong. We've been around enough fighters to know what's right and what's wrong. We weren't happy with Mike.
He looks a bit quiet, didn't he?
It just we know a few things that we weren't happy with what we saw, and at that point there's only one thing you can do, as responsible managers and trainers, and that's what we do, and that is to get the doctor to have a look, and that's what they're there for, and the doctors are fantastic. If the doctor checks him out, obviously Mike is not wanting us to do that, and that's understandable.
Yeah.
But that's our decision. So we bring the doctor in to have a look at Mike, and they're the experts. Now, if the doctor says he's fine and he does the observations and everything's great, then that's fine. And we have a decision to make from there, and we can look at things from there.
Yeah.
But the doctor has to give us that information when we're not happy about what we're seeing. The doctor's done a few observations, and he's not particularly happy with a few things. He's then asked for a urine test, which has been provided by one of the paramedics, I believe.
Yeah.
Instantly, having seen that, he's confirmed that Mike's got a urine infection, and he's not allowed to box.
Right.
Mike would still box, obviously.
Yeah.
The doctor has made the decision, and we absolutely respect that, and we wouldn't allow Mike to box in those situations. So,
no.
As much as Mike wants to box tonight, Mike is not boxing tonight, and we're all devastated. And obviously I represent Michael Gomes, but I'm also hugely devastated for Reece Bellotti, a wonderful lad, an unbelievable credit to sport. I think both of them in the build-up to this fight have been exemplary, absolutely sporting, superb for a fight of this magnitude. And Michael being such a character, they've held themselves fantastically well, and they've both been superb through the build-up. And I'm devastated for him because boxing fans will see a clip tonight, the fight is off, and
they won't understand.
No, they won't understand, and obviously I don't expect them to understand, and they'll watch the next fight, and then it's forgotten about. But these boys have been away from the families. Reece, I don't know what his training camp was like, but I know he's been here all week. Michael's been away from his kids, training in Chorley for maybe 10 weeks. And it comes down to tonight. And this is how they get paid, and this is what they do, and he has to sit there, and we have to take it out of his hands that we're getting the doctor, and the doctor has to say, you're not fighting, and these boys will fight, whatever happens.
Yeah, I mean, he was in the change room saying, I want to have a go, but it was out of his hands. The doctor did say, no, you cannot fight. One of the things we want to make sort of clear is that Matchroom have been fantastic with you, haven't they?
Unbelievable. I mean, you expect nothing less because they're a class outfit and class people, but the way they've been so supportive, they were in the medical room when it happened, and I thank them so much because they were brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and they're still being brilliant. And it's horrible because I know that they're going to have an unbelievable nightmare as well. It's just the fallout from it is huge. But
of course,
again, the absolute paramount important thing is that as soon as the doctor says Mike is not well, he ain't fighting.
No. Because it's a medical decision and the doctor has made that decision, Michael retains his position, doesn't he? He doesn't lose the mandatory, I believe. I mean that's something that Mike has got to. We'll speak about in the next few days with Mike, that he's got to understand the decision was right. It's a medical issue, and both boys move on, and it'll happen again down the line. Tonight we sit here now, and it's unbelievably sore from everyone. What we don't want to happen is Mike get in the ring. God forbid something happens to him. Well, that's why the procedures are there.
100%, and we've got the best medical outfit in the world of boxing. You know, they're superb. You know, the boxers are, you know, have thorough medicals. They have medicals, you know, leading before the fight, and tonight we have doctors on attendance to help us with these sorts of things, and I'm forever grateful to them. And tonight, what they've seen, and with the test that's come back, they've made the decision in the fight. So there's nothing we can do about that.
No,
he's not fighting. And we'll pick up the pieces as the days and weeks go on, and the fight will happen again. And then it'll be a memory.
One of the things that Michael was devastated about is there's so many people purchased tickets to come and watch this fight tonight, and he was just more worried about them than himself, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. He's of course, you know, he's devastated. You know, we think he's done 1,000 tickets tonight, and that's, you know, he's a broken man tonight. You know, and there'll be smart people who write things on the internet and clever things, not realising that there's a human being whose livelihoods, you know, in that place tonight, and he's going through absolute hell tonight, and you know, they won't see that, and that's just life. No. You know, there's people, you know, faceless on the internet will write silly things tonight, and we'll all read it, and it'll annoy us, and that's
the real boxing fans will understand, I'm sure.
I hope so. I think anybody with a heart or a brain will understand that. You know, when a boxer is told by the doctor he ain't boxing because he's got a medical issue, then that's that, and we'll support him, and the fight will happen again, and as long as both boys always leave the arenas healthy, then that's what it's all about.
Kevin, it's a tough call to make. You're a manager and you're very experienced. I'm sure you've had to do it in the past, but this one was particularly tough because of your connection with Michael and his father, and it's also 25 years today, I believe, that his father won the British title, so it's a very tough one to make, but you made the right decision as a manager, and we applaud you for doing that. It's tough, mate.
Yeah, it's tough.
It is tough.
It is tough, mate. I mean,
but like you said, he will live to go home and see his children. He's not going to get hurt in the ring. That's why these procedures are here, and that's why there's a board of control
it's a sport
that does it.
It's not a macho contest. It's a sport, and that's sometimes we lose track of that. You know, we're silly the ways people act sometimes in this sport. You know, you get managers acting hard men, you get trainers acting hard men. It's a sport. You know, it's nothing different than a game of snooker, other than we punch each other in the face. Everyone has families to go home to. You know, when we leave this arena tonight, we all go home to our loved ones, we all go home to our families. Yeah. We're not going to jeopardise that for a sport, and that's just the fact of life. Health has to come first.
100%.
We'll do this fight again when they're both healthy, but tonight is not the night for Michael Gomes. But my God, if he'd have gone in that ring tonight and he'd have got beat when there's something wrong with us, I tell you what, he'd feel a hell of a lot worse than he feels at home right now. Yeah. That's a fact. Yeah. So that's how it is, and that's how it'll always be. I'm very close to all my boxers. You know, we have a very close relationship with them from the minute we sign with them, and we'll do every single thing we can to protect them in and out of the ring, and that'll be forever as long as I'm doing this.
Well, listen, like you've said, Reece Bellotti has been superb through the situation. You know, he's clearly devastated himself, but it's been nothing but respectful all week, and also this evening when he heard the news, we know that whilst he was disappointed, he was understanding. So a big shout out to Reece Bellotti's team as well.
Unbelievable gentlemen. You know, they're sensible men. It's different for us because we saw what happened tonight. We saw the timeline. We saw it. When you're in a changing room, someone walks in and tells you that news, I can only imagine that, first of all, they thought it was a wind-up or it wasn't real.
They're not seeing what we see.
Yeah, they don't see that. So I can only imagine now what they're going through, and I just thank them for being sporting and gentlemen, and hope we can put it on again in the future, and you know, when everyone's right and healthy. Well,
listen, message out to Michael Gomez's fans and everybody that bought a ticket. We appreciate it. It's been a bit of a rough one. You've come to see him, but he is going to be okay. He will come back, and you will see this fight again. And I'm sure you want to thank them all for their support.
Absolutely. You know, please stay with him. The kid's devastated. He's absolutely broken-hearted tonight. We did what we had to do, and we'll do it again any time that happens. Yeah. Stick with him. He'll get that British title. It's destiny, and he'll get it when it's right, but it's not tonight. Kevin, listen, thank you for coming on and telling everybody exactly what happened. I know it's a tough one for you as well. We wish Michael all the very, very best, and I'm sure we'll see him again soon. Thank you, Kevin. Definitely.